Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jonathan Ankiewicz, and I'm creating a YouTube channel about entrepreneurship, smashing it with creativity, and trying to sprinkle extra work on top of the work I already have because I'm addicted to things. I'm creating this YouTube channel to oversee, vlog, and blog about the projects that I'm working on currently. I currently have a life goal and aim to change the world through bettering relationships. And in doing so, I'm going to do it by entertaining people, exposing them to information, and hopefully just teaching people how to be better in relationships in general. It's not just professional and love relationships, but my initial aim is love relationships because that's what destroyed my life. A failed love relationship, and it broke me. But it gave me a purpose in life. And I have started building projects around implementing that purpose across society. And it is really hard to speak to being somebody who's a little bit of a peon in comparison to a lot of other people. I've never been a big social media person, and my personal social circles are always small because life's easier that way. But now I'm going to venture into the big old ocean of the world, into YouTube, and create a YouTube channel. Oh, this is going to be crazy because I have no idea what I'm doing. So, what I'm doing, I have no idea what I'm doing, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm taking this channel and I'm going to structure every little line of business that I already currently have in the works or working or about to be worked on as its own YouTube channel as itself. That's all kind of parented under this vlog of me giving you the behind the scenes and all of the great information that I learn as I go through this process. As I create this channel, I'm going to share everything I learn in little lessons and then create little series so that they're all useful information for anyone who wants to follow the same track, period. Wants to follow the same track and kind of chase your own dreams for your own reasons. Starting a YouTube channel has been a dream of mine for a long time. And I'm sure it's been a lot of people's dreams. See those people, those rich kids, little people who do nothing but make videos all day for a living. You're just like, I want to do that. I don't want to go to work. Well, my turn. Now, I'm not doing anything different from the businesses that I already own and have started. They're not really making any money. And I need to market them and give them... You can see my dog in the corner. Nico, I'm in the middle of a YouTube video, dude. I know. You want some pets. You'll get some loves. So I already have a couple things going as it is. They're not making any money. They don't have very big fan bases. They don't have traffic. And then I have a couple projects on their way out and some borderline and getting ready to release. And then some that are a little further off. So we're going to vlog them. And then we're going to go through the process of building that. And then building content. Because what I'm about to do is launch all of these businesses via content marketing. Yeah, it's the cheapest and freest way. And considering my background and skill sets and knowledge sets, I have everything I need to be my own creative department. I got 2 college degrees from an art school for advertising art director, as well as web design new media, which is basically a graphic designer / coder, motion graphics as well, and some photo editing stuff, and then just a few electives of like photography and stuff. So I enjoy and dabble in photography in my own hobby. Do some videos, video editing. I've shot a music video and stuff. I've done some things here and there at random, always just following a passion or interest or whatever I'm doing. But now I'm going to take those skill sets and I'm going to take those and build these brands. And as I build these brands, I'm going to build content. And then I'm going to share everything I'm learning. I'm going to go through the process, share with you guys about scheduling, planning, even this video. This is the first video I am dropping. There was way more to go into it. I've recorded this thing like 7 times. I've even had to move my YouTube studio. YouTube studio. That sounds so weird to say out loud. I had to move this entire thing from upstairs to downstairs because of the temperature was slowing down the computer and I couldn't make recordings. I could sit for 40 minutes, make a recording before it was too hot, and then I couldn't get anything done. So I had to consume my own bedroom to create a studio. You know what? Here's a picture of it. Now, it looks cool. And it's going to succeed because I'm committing to this for, I don't know, at least 5 years now. I'm gonna run this for about 5 years. I'm gonna vlog whatever the projects I'm doing. The channels may disappear, come and go, but the vlogging is gonna stay. The vlogging is going to be the overarching persona or business brand that's going to maximize and build out these other projects, because I have 1.5 million other projects I want to build on top of these. These are just the ones that I wanted to build the most and the ones I'm working on currently. So I'm going to create these channels out, and then I'm going to build content marketing for all of them, and we're going to go. And my aim is to eventually get to a point where I can hire out teams to build this stuff, and I don't have to do all of it. My goal personally is to step away from doing all of that work, sticking with the vlogging and just managing and just maintaining the business life and trying to find a good life balance, and then share that with everyone so that they can learn some of the do's, the don'ts, and like, hey, this worked for me. Like, I'm never going to say I'm an expert and then I'm going to do it. This is the way you need to do it, because one, there's 1 million different ways to get things done. And two, there is no way I'm an expert. In 10 years from now, I won't be an expert. The platforms will change. The technology will change. Everything will be always learning, always growing. So I'm going to just share what I know and share what I learn as I go along. I love making art, and I like building things. I got 3D printers. I mess with and fiddle with Arduino tech projects. I really want to weld. Got a couple other art projects. I like to paint and sketch. Charcoal is my favorite medium. But I'll share some of that stuff here in the vlogging area too. I'm just kind of share some of the things I'm doing, some of the things that intrigue people, or I find that intrigue people as I do things. But let me tell you a little bit about the brands. So we're going to create about 5 channels-ish. There's 5 brands. One company is already in place, fully automated, and makes almost no money. And why does it make almost no money? Because it has almost no traffic. And it's been like that for about 1.5 years now. It's just been sitting and sucking up expenses, because I've been paying for the subscription through Shopify. Drip shipper, building a coffee brand. I built a coffee brand called falsemotivation.com. It takes a statement from the military, false motivation, a statement that we used to say in the military: when you have no motivation and you have nothing left in the tank and you need to push through it, false motivation is what you would scream. So we would just be like, false motivation! Well, we're up pumping a hill at 36 hours of no sleep. We're on mile 19 or whatever it is, carrying a 200-pound pack going on whatever training mission we're dealing with. And we're just yelling out, false motivation! That stuck with me. It stuck with me a long time. And when I got into tech, I started walking into business meetings. And I would walk in and be like, motivation, 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 motivation. Everyone looked at me sideways at first. Like, what does that mean? I'm like, just motivation. I'm like, don't you feel the energy when you say it? And then say motivation back. And no, you say it like you emphasize it. Like you got something there. And you're like, motivation. Ooh. It got to a point where every time I walked into a meeting, everyone would be like, motivation, motivation, motivation. Let me tell you, when you're in a business office where people weren't really getting along, and then all of a sudden you got everyone yelling motivation before meetings, it's a great way to bring a group together. It was fun too. But I built a coffee brand around it to remind everyone about motivation. Motivation is a subconscious statement. We'll dive deeper into all the details of that. But false motivation is available. I'll get behind the backstory of how it was created, all the details, the branding, everything behind it. And I'll walk you guys through it and teach you everything I know. I spent about $600 to make the whole store automated, to learn that I could have done it all myself. It was easy. So What I'm going to do is give you a full walkthrough of how you could easily set something up like that and walk you through everything. But then I'm also going to continue walking you through as I build out the content of that brand and create the following, because there isn't much of one, like at all. I think maybe 100 people liked it on Instagram because they're my social group. They're my people. I have 1,000 friends on Facebook. So at least 10%, right? I got the friends who actually pay attention. Well, pay a little bit more attention. But anyway, one of the other projects that's getting ready to come out in a beta phase is My Cody. We built a piece of hardware, we got patented, and we've got it manufactured. And right now we're developing and testing it so that we can go and we can build it out and get it into the hands of professionals so that they can start using it. And what it is just a piece of hardware that records your movement through space and time. So you can hold the device wherever it is. Once you push start recording, it records the entire movement and distance that you're recording, the angle, the pitch, the yaw, and the placement and rotation. And it allows you to determine how it changes, and you can get really, really precise with this little device. So we built all these mounts, and you can throw them onto all these different pieces of equipment so you can train whatever precision sport that you're into. So that one's going into testing very shortly. We got the hardware just about done. I'll dive a little deeper into that one. That one is going to have my co-founder in it heavily, so that content may take a minute before it comes out instead of the other stuff, but we'll see what comes out as it goes. But stand by. It's going to be a good channel to pay attention to. If you wanted to actually create a piece of hardware, we'll teach you how to do so, and hopefully you can avoid the very expensive lessons we've learned. But let me tell you, once you've done it once, it is a lot of information. But we'll walk you through that as we go. Now, the next big project, this one's actually my pride and joy. I think this one is going to be the number one project that's actually going to change the world. It's going to shift the way people see relationships. It's called Start With Me. It's a dating application that requires you to go through a self-discovery journey to learn about yourself before you're even allowed to start swiping in the dating pool. We're raising the quality of the dating pool, but we're not doing so by filtering out the bad ones. What we're doing is we're educating everyone in the pool so that everyone has the same level of knowledge and understanding of themselves so they can show up and try to better themselves as they grow. As you find your partner, you guys will grow together as you are. As you learn more about who you are and how you show up in relationships, you understand more about how you fulfill, how you reflect and communicate and value people and the way you see things. And it's just super enlightening once you get this information, because once you have it, it's changing you forever. It's going to drip over into every other aspect of your life knowing this information. When you know how to better understand how you show up in relationships, your relationship with every other person you ever interact with is going to be a massively different relationship. And we're going to change the world through this. And right now, that project's already started. We're pitching for investors. So if there happens to be anyone out there who's interested in some pre-seed investing, for about 80 grand right now, we can get the project built and put in the store within 4 months. It's already fleshed out that far enough. But that doesn't cover any advertising or marketing dollars, and it doesn't have a pre-signed up user base yet, so we're still working on that part. That's what this content marketing is. We're going to create content to build the user list of people getting ready for this project so that when the app drops, we have a user base to start hitting and testing with, and then we can validate the product further before we start going into a seed round of investment. And then we're going to work on raising a couple million to really build that project out. But we got to flush it out. But pre-seed wise, exchange for equity, we're looking for some funding so that we can build this thing out right. But anything more than that will be used wisely. Anyway, moving on to the next one. This is one of my favorites. So this one is my personal project. This one is my my personal project is probably the best way of saying it. So I'm building out an erotica brand. Right? I know. Sounds crazy. Okay, so this erotica brand is with the same foundation to better relationships. I'll get into the details in the channel. That should be the intro video right there. I'm gonna go into the details of everything there, but just a short summary so you understand how it ties to my overarching personal life goal to change relationships. When I was doing research during my failing marriage, I started finding, plus also like one of your attempts to try to fix the marriage is always trying to make your sex life better, right? Trying to make the relationship better in each part of the sections. One of them was sex, right? So I started looking deeper into it, started finding more into kink. I kind of fell down a little bit of a rabbit hole because I'm a research nerd who's not very scientifically. Anyway, I like to learn things. So I dove into that and I started realizing that the communication in kink is what it should be for everyone in a marriage. Like that, the intro they have into kink, like, hey, welcome to kink, here, consent forward. We are all about communication and understanding each other and setting boundaries, and just there's so much into it, and it's all so natural in that community that I'm not sure if everyone else sees it the way I do, because I came in from a relationship that didn't have a lot of good communication, and when I saw that, I was like, what is, people are talking and sharing and they know themselves, they boundary. I learned a lot, and therefore after learning a lot and actually realizing how fun kink is, now just for an emphasis here, I want to make sure that you know you could still be a big good Christian person and go have a lot of kinky stuff going on. Kink doesn't mean swinging and dildos and ecstasy and orgies. It's none of that. Well, that stuff is in the more extreme of the kink world, but the level of kink, it starts shallow, and like kink, the way I describe kink, it's a flavor you like to repeat. It's really kind of all it is, right? You want to be spanked, missionary, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into the details here in that channel. But Flavor of Teal is going to set up a male and masculine persona. Miss Teal is the female persona. Teal Wolf is the masculine persona. And they're going to talk about their adventures in erotica and their learnings. And then there's going to show examples of good communication. What I really want is to show an undertone of how to communicate in a relationship. Show how to build consent, how to be very consent forward, how to build boundaries, how to withdraw boundaries, how to reset boundaries, and to be able to understand seeing that stuff. But my aim is, because people don't like pure lessons unless they're purely looking for a lesson, I want to expose people to this information through fun erotic stories. And I understand there's a massive barrier for the not so erotic type of people. We'll change that. We'll get you kinksters in there. But I want to teach communication and good patterns and good love relationships through kink. And the best way to do it is through good entertainment and showing valuable information. So what it is going to be a platform, and weekly we're going to put out an article of an experience that's going to be very erotic, anywhere from very soft to there'll be warnings at the top so you don't read anything you don't want to read. But every article, like, so if we get into anything such as like spanking or anything like that, we're going to start in building consent. There's going to be how-to articles that follow along with them, so that you and your partner, yourself even in general, can get an understanding of how to have that conversation, the things you need to think about, the things that you might not know you need to think about. This way you can have this conversation with your partner, right? Hey, maybe you want a finger in your butt. If you don't know how to ask for it, you're not really going to get it. But, no pun intended, I wanted to emphasize. So, the project is all about teaching communication and good relationship practices through entertaining stories. Followed on with how to, as well as a product store that will have toys and supplies available if needed. Okay. Having 6 companies is a little ridiculous. Or 6 YouTube channels is a little ridiculous. It's too much work for anyone to do by themselves. And I know that. But over time, I have collected projects and they are sustaining, and I haven't had the willingness to cancel any of them because I know they're all going to be successful. They just need more attention. And I haven't been able to give it to it. But I am giving it to it now. I'm basically creating my own content creating machine. Basically creating my own content creating machine. That should, if Gary Vee and all of them are correct, should exponentially explode every single one of these brands if I do this right. And I'm pretty funny. I don't know if I'm actually funny or not. I would like to think I am. I'm entertaining for the 3 people that laugh at me, so we'll see. But we're going to make some good content. We're going to make it fun. I love being creative. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I'll have to include my Quasimodo eye here. Oh my God, this Bell's palsy is worse when you're on camera. As I'm building on this channel, I'm going to be attempting to find a good life balance for me. And I'll share how as I go, what kind of happens about it. As of right now, I have my son every other week, so I have to find a good balance so that I can do all of this creative stuff. If I'm going to be a content creator, a YouTuber, an influencer, I need to find a good balance, and I'm working on that. So follow along as I screw it all up and try to figure it out. Come join us. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Check out the next video soon. Will be interesting.